to Shri Hari Babu, to Ms. Diana Mota, His Excellency Nihong, Honorable Andrea Snail, Ms. Zukata Fredericks, and I request Karikal Valavan sir to present a bouquet to Dr. P. Narayana.
Very good afternoon to all of you. We are standing at the end of the event, a grand event. At the outset, very emphatically, I would like to say that we are honored by your presence. We, the people of Andhra Pradesh, we, the citizens of Visakhapatnam city, have been honored and humbled by your august presence for this event. I am hopeful that every one of us have learned through the experiences of others. We have got 8 plenary sessions touching upon all subjects relating to urban governance. Experts from all member countries have made presentations. We have learned from each other. I hope that you must have enjoyed the hospitality of the city, hospitality of the Telugu people, and you must have enjoyed the culture of Telugu country, Telugu state. Really, this event has put Visakhapatnam on international map. So we are happy to say that we have learned from you and you learn from us. It's a mutual exchange and mutual experience and mutual learning. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to this valedictory session. I really, though it's a welcoming address, but I would like to thank on behalf of the state of Andhra Pradesh to all of you for having come and spent your valuable time and made your stay meaningful and fruitful. I once again extend my warm welcome to all of you to this valedictory session. I hope that you will cherish the memories of your stay and of your learning in the city of Visakhapatnam. Thank you very much.
I would like to very quickly go through this, giving a kind of a snapshot for the dignitaries on the dais, some of them who were part of the deliberations, and our honorable ministers who have come in a little later, for them to get an idea as to what had transpired in these last 2.5 days. In the first inaugural session, our Union Urban Development Minister, Shri Venkaiah Naidu Garu, had mentioned that India's political class is now more sensitized than ever before to urban challenges. He said that huge central assistance is committed to improve basic urban infrastructure till 2019 to enable urban revival, which is a quantum jump in budget allocations from central assistance committed during 2004 to 14 for basic urban infrastructure. Brics nations need to step up cooperation on urban issues to spur economic growth. He also said that smart city competition among cities to cope up with new challenges will have healthy competition among municipalities in the country. The Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh in his speech highlighted the need to address the challenges emanating from rapid urbanization, such as migration, and governments need to address allied challenges such as housing, basic civic services, health and education facilities. The Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog highlighted some major issues with urban areas, which are land availability for urban development, horizontal and vertical growth of urban areas, scarcity of basic services, improper connectivity, both transport and digital, and financing issues of urban local bodies. The Secretary to the Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, stressed the importance of learning from each other so that we all solve common urban challenges through policy framework with need for cooperation and collaboration of varied sectors, ensuring productivity and efficiency. From Brazil mentioned about the community level participation, which would have a long-lasting impact on sustainable outcome, social integration, improvement of public policy and living conditions, capacity building required for sustainable and resilient cities. The Chinese delegation mentioned about the new urban policies which focus on new cities, management of traffic and large urban spaces. They also mentioned about the innovation in construction management system in China, and 4 factors which have brought huge changes in China are the urban layout, ecology of the urban settlement, the cultural heritage, and people-oriented development. In India, 100% FDI is allowed in the construction sector, created SPVs for provision of basic civic services, and improving the level of services. The Smart City movement focuses on citizen engagement and well-being, as only technology is not sufficient. It was mentioned that well-being of the human being should be at the center. The board should be treated as an urban living lab to create human smart city through community engagement, co-design, and co-creation of technology. Health solve congestion and other traffic issues was also mentioned. It was also mentioned, a very important point during this conclave was that smart cities should be, and those who are digitally illiterate, and having smart cities should not violate, was mentioned in this conclave. The next day, the next session was on day 2. Next session was on financing urban, not only for improving logistics, but also to reduce social exclusion in Brazil. Improved social inclusion, access to amenities of slum inhabitants is important in the case of infrastructural development, will improve quality of life in urbanization and job creation in India and other Brics member countries was agreed upon. It was also mentioned that local government financing platform is an economic entity established by local government. They also said build city governments which are strong and independent to be funded by own revenues as base of revenue from the urban local body. And enhance the available resources and reforms in service delivery so that people see that the services have improved and automatically they will come forward for bearing any additional. Increasing the capacity of weaker section to pay for housing amenities is the agenda of the Brazil ministry. For this, whatever they pay for the house was taken as a viability gap funding as a kind of a subsidy, and it was given by the government. The Indian delegate mentioned about Prime Minister's Awas Yojana and housing for all in the urban missions, and said that this also, Indian government's experience is also citizen empowerment and inclusivity, which have to be interlinked while addressing the challenges of climate change, SDG and urban environmental challenges. Framework is key to ensure concrete measurement of progress, that urban resilience management needs to be based on both traditional or local knowledge through high-speed train network for planned spatial pattern. South Africa is also relooking at the urban-rural continuum so that the hinterland is also not excluded, and a whole gamut of issues covering the entire region is taken into account for regional planning. The last session today, which concluded, was on Urban Renaissance, the new reform agenda. The presentations ranged from planning, heritage, governance, and fiscal prudence. All this led to a foundation for a new kind of social contract which can create the new form of cities. Urban Renaissance is all about people being kept at the center of the planning process, and new urban agenda is new relationships of people with all others. The Shanghai's Vision 2040 was mentioned to be one of innovation, humanity, and green. And all the delegates agreed that we should have due share of the city governments in the growth pie, which is required to ensure that the whole city develops along with the rest of the country and the hinterland. So with these few words, I have tried my best to summarize whatever had happened for 2.5 days with all policy experts, think tanks, experts, academics who have deliberated on these issues. Sir, these all would be taken up as a new urban agenda in the Habitat Third Forum, which is going to be held in Quito in Ecuador next month in October. So the BRICS countries would be taking a kind of a common strategy, kind of a common view while addressing these kind of common problems which are common to all the BRICS nations. With this,
it is a great pleasure and privilege for me to address this august gathering of eminent scholars, delegates, and participants of Third BRICS Urbanization Forum from BRICS members countries across 4 continents. The city of Visakhapatnam has been made to feel proud in organizing such a prestigious event. I am particularly thankful to Honorable Union Minister for Urban Development, Sri Venkaiah Naidu Garu, who has inaugurated this event on September 14th, in the presence of our Honorable Chief Minister and visionary leader, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, for providing this opportunity to this city of destiny. I also extend my sincere thanks to Sri Rao Indrajit Singh, Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Urban Development, Government of India, for taking part in this event and for his wonderful support. During the course of discussions, various examples, experiences on smart urban growth models have been shared. The forum has shown the way for delivery of inclusive, sustainable living habitat that provides a prosperous future for citizens through effective integration of physical, digital, and human systems with environment. Urban transformations will give cities competitive advantage, thereby attracting further investment and creating jobs and leading a pathway that contributes to the economy. Providing basic urban infrastructure is essential for citizens to lead a good quality of life. Apart from building infrastructure, stress has to be laid on operation, maintenance, and management measures so that the longevity of assets is assured and service delivery quality is maintained. The deliberations have brought clarity on aspects like institutional mechanisms, physical management, capacity building, investment avenues, and policy reforms. In light of rapid urbanization and emerging trends, the challenge is to equip urban local bodies with financial self-reliance, capacity building, urban planning frameworks, public participation in policy formulation and execution. While setting the urban agenda in first plenary section, each member country is crystal clear about the way forward in urban transition. Brazil, being the leader in urbanization, faces certain challenges which are not common to all, but Brazil is able to overcome those challenges through proper urban planning and urban governance. Same way, Russia, after disintegration of the Soviet Union, has faced challenges as well as opportunities, and the country, by utilizing the opportunities, had overcome those challenges. The Chinese story is similar to that of India, where rapid urbanization has taken place in a very short period of time that was made possible through conducive policies, master planning, and sustainable economic development. South Africa had made the urbanization possible through adopting bottom-up approach right from the beginning. Citizen consultation had made it possible. The lesson what we learned from various experiences of member countries is to put peoples first. All the policies and planning shall be citizen-centric. E-governance is a new add-on to the existing ULB services, and the Indian ULBs are making every effort to meet the challenge of providing improving services in the fast-developing e-environment. The government of Andhra Pradesh is encouraging and supporting the ULBs by bringing conducive policies. Some of the achievements of government of Andhra Pradesh during the past 2 years. AP will be declared as an open defecation-free state by October 2nd this year. This will be the first state in the country to be declared so. We have converted all conventional street lights into LED to reduce maintenance costs by not investing a single rupee towards the capital cost. Central command monitoring system has been introduced to monitor performance of all operations to the level of individual street lamps. The ULBs and urban development authorities have introduced online building permission system, which was appreciated by the Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, and the same is now being replicated in other states. An online layout approval system has been initiated in identified ULBs and UDs. E-governance has been introduced in all urban governance departments. For Amaravati, new capital city of Andhra Pradesh, which has recently been planned, various funding mechanisms are being worked out to make it a eco-friendly, eco-vibrant with world-class infrastructure. It is worthwhile to mention here that with the initiative of our Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu Garu, land pooling system was adopted under which 34,000 acres of land was pulled from 23,000 farmers without investing any financial resources. This was possible by conducting series of meetings with the farmers in which the Honorable CM also participated. I personally participated in not less than 100 meetings with the farmers. Amaravati is going to be the best city in the world where complete land was pooled from farmers by offering good compensation in terms of offering part of the land in the new city. I can confidently say that Brics, abbreviated in this form as Building Response, Inclusive, Collective Solutions, with the theme on urban transition, has thoroughly discussed various urban transformation options and has successfully arrived at a perspective of various measures to be taken in order to chart out a perfect action plan. I commend the efforts of the partners, Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Greater Municipal Corporation of Visakhapatnam, National Institution of Urban Affairs, and various other institutions in successfully organizing the third Brics Urbanization Forum. My special thanks to His Excellency Enhang, the Vice Minister of Housing and Urban Rural Development, People's Republic of China, who lead the China delegation. My special thanks to Honorable Anderson L., the Deputy Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs of South Africa, who lead the South African delegation. Also, my special thanks to Mrs. Diana Motter, Director of Department of Policies, Accessibility and Urban Planning, Brazil, who lead the Brazil delegation. I hope that you enjoyed the stay in beautiful part of the country bestowed with a unique landscape of hills and beautiful shores. I once again thank you the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views in this important forum. Thank you.
And Chief Secretary of the State of Uttarakhand. During his tenure as Secretary of Urban Development Ministry, he steered the implementation of the JNNURM and introduced several...
I'm delighted to be here to meet with all delegates participating in this forum, and my special greetings to our guests from the BRICS countries. This platform becomes an important venture considering the fact that each of the 5 member countries have either gone through the rigors of urbanization in a proactive manner or are in the process of effectively addressing the challenges of urbanization so as to provide the urban residents with the most desirable and practical facilities in terms of infrastructure, decent city life, sustainable living, and an overall sense of satisfaction, be it in terms of safety, security, or sound opportunities. This conference has been convened at a time when the 3rd UN Conference on Housing and Sustainable Urban Development, more commonly known as Habitat 3, through its adoption of the new urban agenda, has called for readdressing the way cities and human settlements are planned, financed, developed, governed, and managed. Discussions covering a variety of subjects so critically relevant for cities of today, through sessions on smart cities, financing urban infrastructure, inclusive housing and informal economies, climate change, SDG and urban environment, resilient cities and sanitation management, new towns and regional planning, urban renaissance and new reform agenda would naturally have brought forth complexities involved in addressing the issues, at the same time benefiting from the experiences of the journey in reaching 84% urbanization in Brazil, 73% in Russia, 64% in South Africa, 57% in China, and also the modest 32% in India. While there are learnings from the higher levels of urbanization reached, I'm sure the delegates found it to be of great interest having a first-hand experience of how a vibrant urbanizing country like India, while remaining within the federal scheme of governance, is focusing through its centrally sponsored schemes and programs like the Smart Cities Mission, Clean India Campaign, Amrit, Hriday, just to mention the key ones, on steadily improving basic urban infrastructure and providing improved civic amenities in the cities and towns of the country. This healthy coexistence of the concept of cooperative federalism and competitive participation in city development programs, along with a proactive role for citizens in the entire process of reshaping the urban agenda, is definitely one of its kind initiative that India has undertaken, and you would have found it to be a unique experiment with various positives in it. Presentations made and discussions which ensued have brought forth the differences in approach to addressing the fundamental issue of citizen welfare and possible lessons as to what more can and needs to be done, as well as what commonalities exist. Such joint platforms serve the highly relevant purpose of throwing light on the complexities of managing and governing cities of today, particularly in the context of rising expectations, massive change technology is facilitating in making life easier, and fast driving the desire to have better living standards. In a larger context of increasing urbanization, I believe there are serious points for consideration emerging out of the City Growth Commission's recommendation in the UK context that city regions or metros represent the appropriate scale for making more localized strategic decisions to achieve public service reform and long-term economic growth. Further, if geographically closely located cities can have the best transport between them, allowing their current and potential future consumers and producers to feel as though they are all part of one urban mass, then the benefits which typically accrue to a megacity like London, or for that matter any such large city, could be repeated elsewhere. I understand discussions have taken place as to how to further improve city-to-city contacts among the member countries and how to better institutionalize exchange of information and sharing of experience as to how cities are addressing complex problems and taking new initiatives. I'd like to conclude by thanking the Ministry of Urban Development for giving me this opportunity. I would also take advantage of this opportunity to place on record the decision of the Ministry of Urban Development to hold this conference in a beautiful city like this, the leadership of the state government in being an excellent host, and I suppose we all have been seeing a beautiful, neat city, which is going to be a smart city. So it takes a lot of efforts to be a good host, and I'm sure all of you enjoyed the hospitality of being in this city. Of course, from the deliberations of the conference, but more from the hospitality and the city and surroundings which you happen to see here. Thank you very much.
Charge for the Ministries of Planning, Urban Development, Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. He represents Gurugram in Haryana and is a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He has earlier served as a Cabinet Minister for Environment and as Minister of State for External Affairs and as Minister of State for Defence Production. Since 2009, he has chaired the Parliamentary Committee of Information Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, valedictory address by Shri Rao Inderjit Singh, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India.
Respected delegates on the dais, distinguished guests, I would also like to express my sincere appreciation of the Government of Andhra Pradesh for hosting this event. Hosting such an event in Andhra Pradesh was appropriate, as the state has been proactive in addressing its urban challenges and is a front-runner in converting these challenges into opportunities. Urbanization holds a lot of potential for fostering cooperation amongst BRICS countries and indeed with the world at large. BRICS countries have undergone fast-paced urban transformations in a short time. There is much we can gain through exchanges and sharing of experience in this field, as I am sure has been done over the past 3 days. For the second time, India is hosting the BRICS Urbanization Forum, which has brought together various stakeholders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, including ministerial delegations, representatives of local governments, policy makers, academia, professionals, private sector, media, and various civil society groups. This forum is a unique knowledge exchange opportunities for cities and urban stakeholders from BRICS countries. Building on the theme, urban transition in BRICS, the forum has unfolded the story of urbanization in BRICS countries and national strategies adopted in addressing common challenges being faced by cities. While there are significant differences between the pattern, rate, and scale of urbanization amongst the BRICS countries, this unique group has the capacity to play an important role in advancing the urban development agenda. BRICS must play a proactive role in shaping the global discourse on growth and development. As has been brought out in the past 2 days' deliberations, it is time for us now to focus on actions. For this, we must strengthen our collaborations, the friendship between cities, and the cooperation between local governments. This includes shaping the post-2015 development agenda. Housing and economic activity are intrinsic and interwoven, especially for the marginalized sections that depend on the informal economic activities that thrive in cities. The session on inclusive housing and informal economies has deliberated on the need for imaginative efforts to integrate new livelihood opportunities in urban areas. The session on financing urban infrastructure discussed the implications of the recently established new development bank and the contingent reserve arrangement for international financial architecture for domestic economies, particularly of BRIC countries. Smart cities, over and above harnessing technology, require consideration of governance and growth, urban development and infrastructure, environment and natural resources, society and community. An analysis of these issues in the session on Smart Cities Conclave provided a deeper understanding about the innovative approaches to human habitation in these countries. The session on climate change, SDGs, urban environment and resilient water and sanitation management, shared the practices of the member countries on how they are redesigning their internal systems to address the impacts of climate change and reforming governance for service delivery. The new towns and regional planning session focused on the challenges of urban regions, regional urban systems, greenfield developments, and coastal cities management in BRIC countries. For promoting sustainable development, it is crucial to integrate measures in various sectors and maintain a balance